So today we're going to be learning about unit rates. So a rate is described by the comparison by division of two quantities with different units. So miles per hour, meters per second. So what they mean by division is the miles over hours. And remember, this line means to divide. So the unit rate is actually when you divide it and describes the amount per one, or the rate when the denominator is one. So 27 cents per ounce, that's 1 ounce. 40 miles per gallon, that's 1 gallon. So we're going to practice writing our rates and then find the unit rate. So Samuel can do 120 jumping jacks in 2 minutes. So your ratio is 120 over 2. And so you divide 2 into 120 and you get 60. So that'd be 60 over 1, which represents 60 jumping jacks for every 1 minute. 3, a large plane is able to cruise at 530 miles per hour. So your rate will be 530 over 1, which is also your unit rate because it's over 1 unit. And then, so the rate will be 530 miles for every 1 hour. 4 says a babysitter gets paid $60 for every 4 hours. So $60 for 4 hours. So you're going to divide 4 into 60 and you get 15. So that'd be 15 over 1. So that means she makes $15 for every 1 hour. So rates can also be used to solve problems and make predictions. So we're going to use this information about the transportation to answer A, B, and C. So it says at this rate, how many miles can the dump truck travel in 7-hour day? So the rate is 236 miles for every 4 hours. So miles is on top over hours. And we're going to actually set up a proportion like I've taught you in the past. You can find the unit rate and then multiply by 7 to find out how much miles that he'll do in 7 hours. Or we can actually do 7 down here. And the reason why I knew to put the 7 on the bottom is because that's where the hours is on the bottom. And I'm trying to find the number of miles you do for those 7 hours. So we're going to solve this proportion by doing our little butterfly. So the x goes to the 4, which is just 4x. And then you're going to do 236 times 7. So you're going to do 236 times 7, which is 1,652. So now you're just going to divide the 1,652 by 4. And when you do that, you get 413. So it means that the dump truck can go 413 miles in a 7-hour day. And we solved this by setting up the ratios or the rates. And we're going to do the same thing for B. B says at this rate, how many hours will it take for the bicyclist to travel 42.5 miles? So our rate for the bicyclist says for every 153 miles, they go 9 hours. So the miles is on top and hours are on the bottom. And they want to go 42.5 miles. So 42.5 will go on the top this time because that's where the miles are. And our x, which is trying to figure out how many hours, will go on the bottom because that's what we're trying to find out. So we're going to cross multiply, or as sometimes you'll call it, is a butterfly. So you're going to do 42.5 times 9. So you're going to do 42.5 times 9. So basically you're just doing 425 times 9. And you get 3,825. But since there's a decimal up here, you're going to have to move this decimal 1 down here. So you get 382.5. And then 153 times x is just 153x. So it means you're going to divide 153 into 382.5. Since you have a decimal on the outside, on the inside of the house, the decimal just comes up, and you're just going to divide it by 153, which comes out to exactly 2.5. So this will take them 2.5 hours. final one. At this rate, how many more miles can the car travel than the dump truck in a 5-hour period? So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out how many miles it'll take for the dump truck to go 5 hours, and then how many miles the car goes. So we're going to set up two proportions, and I'm actually going to solve it over here. So the car has a rate of 408 miles for every 6 hours. And so this is miles over hours. And I want to figure out how many miles he'll go in 5 hours. So we're going to cross multiply. X times 6 is just 6x. And then we're going to do 408 times 5. So we're going to do 408 times 5, which is 2,040. So then we're going to divide 6 into 2,040, and you get 340. So that means the car goes 340 miles in 5 hours. So now what we need to do is figure out how much the dump truck goes. I'm going to put a DT for dump truck. So the rate for the dump truck was 236 miles for every 4 hours. So I want to increase this to 5 hours. So we're going to cross multiply. X times 4 is just 4x. So we're going to do 236 times 5. So 236 times 5 is 1,180. And then you're going to divide 4 into 1,180. And you get exactly 295. So it means the dump truck goes 295 miles in 5 hours. What the question was actually asking is how many more miles the car travels than the dump truck in the 5-hour period. So to figure this out, you're going to do 340 minus the 295, and you get 45 miles. So the car goes 45 miles, more miles than the truck does. All right, so that's your unit rate. If you get stuck on the homework, just send me a message and I'll help you out. Thanks, guys.